All right. I think this is on. Can somebody just say yes before I grab a seat? There you go. Okay. Hey everybody, happy St. Patty's Day. It's 12:30 again on Tuesday, March 17th, and the colors we're going to need for today is light blue, red, orange, yellow, and a little bit of dark green. But first, I just got to say thank you. What a great response I got last night. I was looking at all the pictures. Yours is awesome. What we had, I think it was brother and sister. They looked great. I loved all the setups. The setups looked incredible. Let's see what else. And I guess some are watching on like a flap top thing, right on the table with a couple of canvases. So I would have just thought that you could watch it on your phone, but what I know. But fantastic jobs. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I loved every bit of it. There was that one hidden one. Remember the one you did? I saw of you had that little hidden heart up in the sky. It was awesome. Great job. I'm seeing some darker skies. I'm seeing some lighter skies. I'm seeing some really dramatic skies. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. And imagine we're only on our second day, second hour, and these are the colors we're going to be using. So I'll give you a minute to get that. I did read a little bit about people want, I needed suggestions. What could I do to make it better for you guys to understand and learn better and easier? So I asked, and I guess what people say, or somebody had mentioned that I should slow down a little bit. So, okay, I will. No, I'm just kidding. Of course we will. So, if everybody's all set with this, I just want to mention that everybody's doing a fantastic job. That's all. Let's get right into where we're going to pick up from here now, because we're still working basically from back to front, remember, back to front. So what we need to do now is to accent. This could be done, but it ain't. Okay? So what we want to do, remember how I told you about right in here where we have these darker areas? These look always more fantastic when they're behind a lighter area. See, like that little bit of a darker blue you can see? Look how much darker it becomes because it's next to that white. It fights to be darker. All right. So what we're going to do up here, where I'm seeing, is I'm going to take some white. So take a little bit of white on your dish. Everybody got a dish? All right. And a little bit of white on there. Not much, like I say, just that little bit. Because we're only making a few clouds up here. If we need more later, we'll use it. So please don't blop it out like that. It'll dry up quicker than you can use it. And you won't be too happy. Now I know that we said that we're going to work on the house today. We're going to get that beautiful blue tint in there, which we will. Got plenty of time. So what I want to do is let's take our, actually, you know something, let's take our smaller brush. Should we? Yes. Yeah, let's take our smaller brush just to make it easier. I would normally use a bigger brush, but I'm a professional. So what you want to do is just take, like we talked about yesterday, just take that little bit of paint. I don't know if you can see that. There's that little bit of paint on there, and don't scoop it up like a shovel. And what we want to do is come right up in here. Can you see this? And come right up in here, nice and close. Don't kill that dark area, but go right next to it, right on it. And see what I'm doing? I'm staying on the lighter blue part, but I'm just gonna kind of go right around like this. You don't want to leave it like that unless you're making a bird. Okay, kind of like a bird flying across over the rooftop, but it's not what it is. So what you want to do is now I want to take a little bit more, and before that dries, I just want to come up here. You see what I'm doing? Small little circles will get that in, and then that little bit of paint. Just keep doing little circles all the way around, and basically just clean your brush off. Clean your brush off as you work back into the lighter part of the blue. Okay, and what that does is fade it back. Okay, so you got all this wet white up here. So you want to do the same thing. Maybe you want to work in smaller sections so that it doesn't dry on you, because the last thing you want is this hard line right here. Look at, mine's already dried. So what I got to do, I'm going to take just that little bit, never a lot, just take that little bit and just come right back up here, wet it up again, but then work it and work it and work it, those small circles, And just keep pushing it back, and eventually it's going to go right back up into that and become a cloud. See this hard line? I want to get rid of that as well. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that white, come right up in here, and always work it from the edge. You don't want to come up here and make that much more whiter. You want this to be fading off by that time. So just come in here, small circles, fade that right back in there. But please, yeah, if you could just send me those pictures again tonight. I love seeing them. They were incredible. Oh, I think Lorraine might be taking tomorrow off. She had asked me, she looked at me this morning and she said, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah, why?" And she says, "Well, maybe you should go spend the day with Missy. Maybe so she could watch you." I said, "Well, watch me? Why? I need to be watched. I'm a big boy." She looked at me. So, what am I going to do? I'm here by myself. I'm doing the show. What else do I do? Well, I gave her a kiss and I waved goodbye at the door because she got a job. But, so after I wave and I see her going down and she's out of sight, of course I don't want to watch the news, so I turn on the TV on the music channel. I blare it. Play a little air guitar, have some breakfast, and then the cat come running by, aggravate the cat for a little while, and but she's good. And so I think she's going to stay home tomorrow. I think she's worried about I'm not eating, but I'm eating just fine. So, and make sure that you eat too, and wash your hands before you eat. So now look at this right up in here, okay? This is going to be beautiful. Now we can't just leave that one there alone and leave it there like that. We've got to come up here. Let's break this over just a little bit. And look at this. It's going to do the same thing. You see how we separate this and we make another cloud here? And I'm just doing those small circles and come right around. And look at that. It looks like a bird again. I'm going to take just a little bit more paint. Not a lot at all. Come right up in here. Let this all fade back and away. And look at that beautiful stuff. Look at that beautiful clouds happening right up in there. So that'll be cool. We'll have Lorraine home tomorrow. Maybe we get her on the show. That'd be awesome. And we could leave it just like that. Now remember, we could have more trees coming in, which we probably will, because I don't like this open area. I kind of like it where it's closed in. It gives it more of a heavy country look instead of a field look or a mountain look. So, but we'll leave these trees in the background. That looks good for now. And then if you like, you could have, now again, we're going to turn our brush just a little bit, okay? Now for the small brush, what you want to do is you want to come in, you don't want to paint it this way on the fat side, you want to turn it on the skinny side and come right up in here. And then just 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and just go straight across with the very light hand. Next to nothing paint. If there's no paint on there, take a little bit and then wipe it on a rag, okay? And then you'll have just that little bit of paint on there, just enough to come off and make it look like there's a faint distant cloud way back there in the distance. And maybe another one underneath there. Something like that. Just to give it more distance over the trees, okay? Oh, I think we can leave that like this, but you know something? I think I want to roll this around. I'm going to roll this right around in here a little bit, just to give it more character. And let that fade off into the trees. Oh, right into that other cloud. Look at that. Beauty. That looks nice. And then again, I get this hard line. I don't like that. And that one either. So we'll fade that off. That's good enough. There we go. See, now already you can see there's kind of like a Halloween sky, actually. You know? Look at this right up in here. Doesn't look like a face coming down. Ooh. See, things like that just happen. Kind of like a monkey face, I guess. Right? And this could be a bat. Well, we can't talk about bats right now. Bad timing. Let's see, what else? You know something? Now we have this. Let's go on to our house. Ready for the house now? I'll wait. I'll give you guys a little time. It was just a couple of clouds we were throwing in there. But now, what you want to do is just throw your, when you're done, put your brush, your small brush, in the water. And welcome back. Thank you for coming back. And looks like we're going to be out of work for a little while. So, I don't know. You guys want to just continue this? Just let me know. I don't mind doing it. So, and it keeps me busy, and you know, whatever. But for today and this week, we're going to complete this painting. So what we want to do now is take out, I said we needed the light blue, and this is why, because we don't want to have this same blue in here, because we're kind of like be blended and pushed back in and kind of blend right back into the background. So it's not what we want. So we want to take our bigger brush and look at the difference between this blue and that blue. This blue is almost a white. This one's called Blue Cotton. Blue Cotton. Shake it up because it's brand new, or at least I haven't used it. And again, see, you're not going to need a lot. Not going to need a lot at all. Maybe a little more. Like about a quarter size. Or nickel. Nickel's good. All right, let's see. So what we want to do now, see if what you notice. See how I hold my brush now? And you could see that these brush strokes are just going straight up and down. Okay? Now we are going to bring these all the way down, but we want to make sure that we bring them down because these grasses are going to be pulled up further. So the further we bring these down, the higher we could bring up the grasses, which is what this painting is. The focal point is more the flowers than the house. So what we want to do now is we want to, actually, you know what to do? Grab some more white. Now you're going to need a little bit more white, depending on the size of your house. I just know I'm going to need, I don't know, maybe about that much, because I'm a professional. So what we're going to do now is just come over. Let's work on half the house first. Okay, be easier that way. And this way I could show you easier. See how it gets from darker to lighter, right? So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go from darker to lighter, okay? Because our light is coming in from this side. We have our light sky up here. So we're going to have our light over here on this side of the house. This will be in the shadow, okay? So what we're going to do now is, everybody ready? Get their light blue and white. Big brush. Small brush is in the water getting cleaned, or at least staying wet so it don't dry out on you. And we're going to jump right into it. Now, I was going to talk to you about the way we hold the brush. Okay, the way we hold the brush on this is you want to tuck it right up underneath there. I'm going to start right at the top of the peak. All right, so I'm going to come right up in here. I'm going to go straight down, straight down, straight down, just like this. All right, but first what I want to do is I want to wet the entire side of the house. Now don't scoop and put and put and put, okay? So what you want to do is I will scoop like that much. I'm not actually scooping it, but I'm going to really take a lot more than I would. Okay, nothing on that side. It's all on that side. I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to turn that brush on that angle of the roof, and I'm still going to come straight down. Don't worry about turning that angle, okay? And that's how you're going to get half that house. So when you want to come down here, another easy way is you could just go right along there like this, so you know that that is all wet by now. Then you could take a little bit more and go next to that one and blend it in. Then you could come down and go next to that one and blend it in. You just don't want to put globs of paint on there because you just want to get a tint, okay? Now you could go in to just a little bit of that blue. So we started from the middle, which is going to be lighter anyways, but now we're going to take the blue, and we got about halfway. Now we're going to go into the blue. Again, that good amount. I'm going to tuck it right up underneath the eave of the roof. I'm going to tuck it there and come straight down, okay? Now that's very, very blue for a white house, but don't worry about that, because now I'm going to come up with more white and go right in there. And look at that, because the white's on there and the blue's in there, I could just pull that right along. And what you want to do is just go straight up and down with that. Now see these big globs in there? You don't want to keep that in there. Get those out. Get those out, especially this painting. I mean, there's times when you can leave them there, but not with this one. But see, what you're looking for is just that little bit of a tint. And if it's dark blue like that, don't worry about it. It's fine. The important thing is to just go up and down, okay? So then I'm going to take, I can see my brush is drying out a little bit. So now I'm going to come up here, and it looks like I have to wet this up and see what happens if you have any of the streaks from yesterday showing up. They're going to be gone with this coat. So again, just a little bit of the blue on there. Oh, look at that, right? And long streaks. You want them to go top to bottom. And see what I'm going to make sure you turn your brush on that angle. And then on this side, of course, you don't want to have it, you want to go from this side to that side. So now you want the brush on that angle. Again, you can run that right along. Now with this, I am going to take my time and let you guys catch up. I'm just going ahead with this because, well, I'm a professional. There's one of my students loves that I say that. So if you're watching, that's for you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I know that this is going to get lighter and lighter. So I just want to get this lighter and lighter. And basically all I'm doing on this side is taking a little bit of white and taking more. And I'm putting a little bit more white on because it still has that blue in there from the other side. But now the more white that I use, it's taking the blue off, but it's taking it off on a lighter tone because we're using only white. So it goes from darker to lighter. Nice. Now, beautiful. Nothing we can do until that dries. Which is this a clump of paint up here I see? See right up in there? Let's see. Shake your hand. Yeah, it's okay. But you don't want to, see now, I never want to go in here and start, oh, I don't like that right in there. If I was to reach right in here now, see how nice and clean and uniform that looks? That looks beautiful, as far as I'm concerned. But what you want to do is not do, is you never want to go in there and try to like pick out a hair or start over here and do something like that, because you'll disturb that, you'll never get that back. So I know that I'm never going to touch that again, because look at the way that all, it just drips and falls together like that. We're going to give it an older look. And maybe instead of, well, we're not going to change anything. We're not going to change anything. We're doing this painting as is. That's the way we'll do it. So let's give that a moment to dry. So you could take, you could actually take your big brush and throw that in the water. And while that's drying, just talk about why we're at the house, and you know and the schools are closed. They're just cleaning them out, make sure everybody's safe. Not safe, you know, just want to clean the schools because they're filthy. So for now, anyways, for now, just people touching everything is what I meant. So until the news tells us we can go back, we'll just have these classes and hopefully make a few more friends. But if you could share if I knew how to share, I'd be sharing all the pictures. If I have your permission to put the pictures up on my site to show others with your faces, because the HIPAA laws and stuff like that, so I don't know if I can, but if I have your permission, then I will. But I'm seeing some really good stuff out there, and I'm really excited that you guys have decided to actually paint with me. It's awesome response. The business is doing really good. So that's why we're able to do this. And you know, let's take a moment to talk about helping out the family and why we're home. Okay, so I mean, there's always things that can be done that doesn't take a lot of effort, you know. So take for like making your bed in the morning, right? You're the only one in it for now. So when you go in at night, when you get out in the morning, just pull those sheets up. Right, easy enough just to pull the sheets up, pull the mattress, pull the quilt up, fluff up the pillow, and walk away. Mom don't have to worry about that. Not bad. Okay, so that's just one small way that you guys can help out around the house while the white is drying. Not right now, of course. You know, like after this or something. But what's another way too? Is another thing you could do is, well, simply pick up your toys. You know, that's. You know, just pick up your toys. That's all you got to do there. That's a big help in itself. You know, so nobody's tripping. Because I know what it's like if I'm taking dishes from the living room where I shouldn't be eating anyways. But if I take it from the living room into the kitchen and the cat starts running around my feet, you know, it's like having toys under my feet. I'll trip on them and, you know, I'll fall. So pick up your toys. And what am I going to say? Some of you guys have awesome parents that play with you. and maybe after they're done playing with you, they think they're just going to get up and walk away and say, thanks, I'll see you later, I got to go do something. You say, hey, look, you know, you played with that. Please, help me pick it up. All right? So, that's all you need right there. All right? Just the word please. Please goes a long way. Okay? So, very good. Just little tips you can do around the house to help out the family. How is this going on? Okay, well, you know something? We did talk about dark green. We could pull out a little bit of dark green. So, I have, oh, look at this one. It's called Shamrock Green. Hi, fitting today. So, Steve Pascucci. Not much Irish in that one, unless I'm old Pascucci for today. But that's about that. That's about as far as that goes. So, see what I'm going to do? Every time I take a little bit of paint out, oh no, paint on my hand. Dun dun dun. Every time I take a little bit of paint out, I take a little bit of paint out. I don't squeeze and squish a big thing out there, you know. You know, tomorrow we're going to talk about a different kind of acrylic paint too. There's these are the kind of like the creamier type. I don't know what you call it, just acrylic paint. But then there's, you know, so these are like what I consider creamy, as opposed to the ones that come in a tube and you squish them out. You know, you squeeze them out like toothpaste. So let's go back. And what we're going to do? Okay, let's go back to our big brush. Okay, make sure your big brush is dry, clean and dry, please. And I got a rag right here. I don't know if you can see that, but I have a cup of water and a rag. Keep everything right there like a drum set. Whatever you need is right there. Okay? So, what you want to do now? Okay, now, just like we talked about yesterday with the background trees, right? That brown in the background, while this is drying, the brown in the background is going to be the further trees behind the trees that we are about to paint. Okay, so this is like going to be the second tree level behind. So the reason we did all these chunks of tree trunks and tree branches, excuse me. So see what I did? I'm going to go straight in to the green and I'm going to blop it. Okay, now you don't want to do that on your painting because that can't be fixed. Well, you could fix it, but that's not what you. Oh, look, the cat's here. Hey, come here, you. Say hi. Come here. Here we go. Oh, look, everybody gonna say hi, Muffy. Ah, there you go. That's Muffy. All right, now you don't knock anything over, please. All right, you're a cat. Don't do it. Okay, so what you want to do is I was explaining that you don't want to put this on your painting. You want to be careful. So what you're looking for is you go into it, you blop it, and then what you do is you go very, very lightly. They call stipple. And see like this, where you can see the plate behind it? That's what you're looking for right there. So don't use the whole part of the brush. Maybe just use the side of the brush. Okay? Just use, let's see, I'm going to wash my brush all over again so I can show you the right way. Well, a different way. And make sure it's dry. You never want water on there because, well, I don't anyways. I know people, they use water in their acrylic paints. Not me. Like I said, I'm lazy. I wash my brush when it's needed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go into the green. Just that little bit. See? Just on that side. Okay? So I don't know if you can see that, but just on that side. Alright? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to blop it still. Because I don't want that big blob here on my painting. And then I'm going to come up here. Now I wish we had extreme close-up. But if you see what I'm doing, I want to be able to see a little bit of the brown behind the green, and I want to be able to see some of those tree trunks and tree branches. But every time I go in for more paint, I'm blopping. Okay, I don't want a big blob of paint on there. I just want a little bit. And see, these are what hold up all those trees, all the leaves on these trees. Okay, so you can still barely see. You can barely see them in there. I'm going to go back in again. Blop it, start up at the top, work my way down, and then you're basically just cleaning your brush off. Every time you're painting, you're just cleaning your brush off in a different way. See, and then I'm just going to fade this off, so I start a little bit on top. Now see, because I use so little paint, you keep seeing me dabbing, but I'm using such little paint that it really doesn't last long. because I want to make sure that I don't go with those heavy strokes and have a big blop on there. But you know, let me show you something. Just in case something like that happens. Okay, let's make it bigger. Okay, something like that happens. Oh no, we got to throw it away. No, you don't. No, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't worry about it. But nothing you can do about it right now. Let that dry. And what colors are underneath there? Brown. That's right. Brown and black, actually. Yeah, I heard you say black. But we're going to let that dry. And all we just imagine, just reverse what you did on the green with the brown. So imagine, after this dries, you take the brown, blop it, right? Go straight in, blop it, and then you just take that little bit, and with the brown, you break up that big blob. Easy. I'll show you. All right, let's see. How's my house doing? I don't want to touch it, but it looks like it's dry. I don't want to rush it. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here, just like we did here. We're going to come up here and we're going to do the same thing. Now grab your green, and see, I'm going to do the same thing. Go straight in. I'm going to blop it, because you don't want that up there like that, because you can't reverse that. So, and then you blop it. Then you come up here and you just go straight in, because all you want is just the tip of that brush touching like that. Okay, that's what you want right there. Just that tip of that brush is what gives you that look, or that look. Okay, so go in, blop it. And now be a little more creative up here. Don't just throw it on there. Think about how the leaves are falling off that branch, right? Maybe they want to come in and fall down just a little bit. And again, you don't want to kill all that stuff underneath there, because this is what's holding up all those leaves. Okay? And look at this. See with the brown behind there? Now it actually gives it that look like you can see beyond there. And then later on, we're also going to put a lighter green on top of that. Okay, using just a little bit of white, or maybe even yellow with some green. Probably the yellow. And don't worry about if you go over the house right now, but please be careful not to, okay? Because just see how I stay away from the edge of the house, because I just don't want to touch it yet. And maybe I will bring that branch right over it, but I don't want to do it now because my house isn't finished yet. I really, really like this. I like those streaks in there. So you can paint the same pictures 20 times. As many times as maybe I have painted this one. They're all different. See, because I will change a little bit in back here. And it might look better with a little bit of a, well, maybe not better, but a little bit different with a little bit of front yard. If we even get to see that, because our flowers are going to come up. So I'm wondering, I'm thinking my flowers are probably going to come up probably halfway from the bottom of the house to here. I'll probably bring the flowers, the tops of them like this. I'll bring them here, which allows me to. All right, so if you have this area here like this, and your paint should be dry, I think if you use your finger and take, see just that halfway spot between here and there. Well, maybe not, but you know what you can do? Just take a little bit of that green that we're using and just make a little thin line like that. Just a little guideline to let you know that that's going to be where the grass is, and we'll work on that. And then this is going to be where the flowers are all coming up. Okay? So, let's see. Maybe we could work on... Yeah, we could work on that right now. Because we have our trees are done. Our clouds are done. Our house is drying. We have that green balancing on the trees. So, and then we are still working from the background flow to the forward. So, that would be the next thing to do. Okay? So, let's take a little bit of yellow now. Break out a little bit of yellow. And we're going to use yellow and green with that same big brush. And because that green again is on, because the green is on the brush already, it's going to stay, it'll want to stay green. But now we just want to lighten that up. See what I'm doing here? I'm just taking a little bit of that yellow, just enough to mix it in with it. And again, what am I going to do? 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. That's what gives us a flat surface to walk on, right? That's what gives us that. Just like when we're looking at like something like this, right? See, that's if it turns into the beach sometime, that gives us a nice flat surface to walk on. Okay? Just keep it, remember, 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Very, very important. So with that little bit of yellow on the green, I'm going to come right back. Oh, look how, in just that little bit, look how yellow it did turn. So now I want to darken that yellow up a little bit with some green. And all I want to do is just change it, because I don't want it to be that green. I just want it to change to be some other green. And this will work. You see what I'm doing? 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. But I'm not doing the long strokes like we did with the sky or the house. I'm just going to kind of scratch this in and see what you want to do. Now you have areas like that. If I was to continue, we would just have that same boring color. Okay, so what it would do now, again, just a little bit of green, because remember how strong that orange was. All we want to do is just wet this up and then connect it where there's no paint. We go up to where there's paint, and look at that, we have like shadows. See, we have light areas and dark areas, but, and then let's see, I'm gonna turn my brush this way, go against my own rule, and do that only so I can just keep that away from and get somewhat of a clean edge. Okay, so that looks good to me. I'm happy enough with that. That's fine. See, now it gives a look like the sun's coming down on it. Looks like a little sun patch there, but it looks like grass. It looks cushiony enough that you could walk on it barefoot. My bunions wouldn't hurt on that one. So what we're going to do now is, well, I guess the next thing we could do while we have that yellow and green out, we could highlight some of these trees. Now we're still working on the background, so we could work on that. I'm going to take, again, just that, well, I think I'll take green first, because that's our primary color, so I want to keep that in there more so than the yellow. And now where we use brush strokes here, we're going to poke it on top, okay, because poking it is what gives us that leaf look. Okay, so, and after we finish with this, I'm going to have you stand up, step back about 5 feet, and take a look at your work, and you're going to see the difference. Okay, now see, I'm not even too sure what I'm looking at, because I'm right up on it. Never, I'm sitting here in the chair doing this, but I'm doing it for you. But if this was for me and myself, I would probably be standing up, walking back and forth, cup of coffee, look at it. What else needs to be changed? I'm always looking at it, always changing it. But you have to be further back to see those things that need to be changed. Because if I was looking at it as though somebody else painted it, I think I'd be like, well, why did they leave that like that? Okay, this is perfect opportunity too. All right, so even if you have that, let's turn this into a bush. Why not? It's right there. Right? So much for that mistake. Look at this. Turn that right into a bush. Boom, boom. And I'm just using more yellow on that one. And that could be one of those photosynthesis trees. In the springtime. Oh yeah, springtime Thursday. So these will be popping. There you go. Don't forget the other one. We got this tree here. Now look at it, right? We have the brown in the way back. Brown and a little bit of white. Remember, we threw in just that little bit of white to change the brown, because you don't want just brown. You want to change the brown, just like we changed the green in here, just a little bit of a tinge, just to change it, right? And so we have brown and white, some brown, some darker browns over here. Then we have black, and we're not too concerned about what they look like, because they're just tree trunks and branches that are going to be kept covered. But what we want to do is build it up with the other leaves on there and stuff. And now we're going to put the green, and then we put the light green on. So this is actually, see, the darker green would represent the individual leaves. Now, if I was to do a different type painting, if I had one with me, but I would use black in the tree, then I would use, and the black would represent the shadow leaves way, way, way in the distance. Then I would use the darker green on top of that, which shows the individual leaf. And then I would show a little bit of the yellow on top of that, which would be what? When the sun hits it, it's called highlight, right? Highlight. So that's what you do. You're highlighting the trees, and that's what we're doing right now, having the sun hit them right there. Okay. So let's see. Go in. Maybe, I don't know, maybe once in a while, just blop it. You know, just to get a different look. Come in, but you're always just tapping it. Okay. And every time you change your brush, you could come straight in like this and you'll get a chiseled, nice clean edge straight like that. But if you come in and blop it, then you get that. Okay? And this is what allows you to go around your painting and change things up like that. And I'm just going to block that in a little bit there. See, now I don't like that because now my eye goes right through that yellow spot. I don't like it, but I'm not going to change it now. Why? Because it's wet. Nothing I can do. But I'm going to go up here now. I'm not going to worry about it, right? So never feel discouraged like, I wrecked it. No, you didn't. Just let it dry, take a breath, go back to it later. Stand up, back off, and look at it. After we do this tree though. And I'm going to do it too, so I'm going to leave the camera for a second. I'm going to leave the frame because I want to take a look at it too and see what I might have to change. So, but see what I'm doing? I'm just taking that little bit. I don't want to kill the brown. I don't want to kill all the black. I don't want to kill all the dark green. I just want to add the yellow on top of all those layers. So even, see how that works? That's perfect right there to explain with the tree. The tree is the, you know, you have your deepest darks, which is the black. Then you have the dark green. The dark green is the individual leaf. And then the highlighted leaf is the yellow one. So that's how those layers work, on layers on layers. And that's how painting is different than drawing. Because drawing, you draw from what's in front. See now right here, watch what I do here. I'm going to take just a little bit heavier yellow, not much, and I still want to still blend it in with the green, but I want to have a little, like a little something, a little sparkle there or something, just so your eye goes up in that corner. Need a little bit up here in the corner too, just to bring my eye up in there. I need some brightness. And if this was an autumn painting, there'd be a lot of color up there, believe me. All right, so I'm going to step back now. If you're done with yours, and remember, stay away from this house. We can always put that after. Okay, and I think we will. I'm excited about that, but not right now. Leave it alone. So throw this in the water. I'm going to step back. I'm not going nowhere, I promise. I promise I ain't going nowhere. I'm just going to take a look. Now get up and take a look yourself. Hey, you know something? Wash your hands. All right, let's see. I like it. I like it. The clouds are a bit much, but I can live with it. It's okay. Maybe I'll tone them down. I don't know. But we'll see. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is the house. Okay, what do we have to do with that? We need to put the window in. Okay, so let's see. If we're going to put the window in, we're going to need what color? Black. That's right, black. And see what I did here? I didn't use a lot of black. You can make this as dark or as whatever you want. Okay. Now we're not done with the black coming up to the house or the house going down. We're going to have to still come up and make these spikes. See these individual spikes like that with the black? That's where we start. So we're going to be doing a lot with the black right now. Was it 10 past 1? Let's see, yeah. So we'll probably finish up with the black today and not be too concerned about tomorrow. But look at this. This top of this painting is looking awesome. So let's go. Okay, so throw your big brush in. Wash it if you want to, dry it, have it ready. I think I'll do that too. I'm gonna set a good example. Everything should be clean now, right? So why not brushes? So I hope everybody's enjoying the class. I know I am. I'm having a great time teaching you, and honestly, I love the response and the pictures that are coming back. You guys are doing awesome. So, all right, now everybody got their small brush. Take that, and what we're gonna do now, let's tuck this attic window way up there, okay? I don't know how far up, but you put that up there as far as you wanna. But I'm going to put mine right about here, and I don't want to make it too. Remember, this is a little attic window, and to me, could be a little too big. Could be like a little air vent type thing. But I'm just going to make a smaller one. Oh, you want to make sure that's up and down. Up and down. Okay, so I just throw that kind of a shape in there. And see what I'm doing? I'm not scooping it. Not scooping it. I'm only taking little bits at a time. And let's see. I want to teach you something very, very important. Now we know that, well, at least I know where my tall grasses are going to go. So I'm going to throw, remember I said I was going to have it come about there between the halfway point from the tree line, the bottom of the tree line, and the bottom of the house, or the bottom of the grass. So this is all going to be covered up with grasses also, because I want to see some of that backyard in behind there. Okay, that's what gives you that distance and that depth. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, see what I'm doing? I'm sorry I didn't say, but every time we do something like this, we're going to be turning our brush this way here like this. But I don't want to get too far ahead because we got to throw a door in there, door and a window. Okay, so look at this one, right? Looks like I only got a window here, but I didn't even make that a door, and there is no door. So maybe it's on the other side of the house. I don't know. Well, it could be the backyard. So, all right, let's see. So what do we do next? I am going to put my door in there. And let's see, the door should never be like way up here by the roof, because that would just be ridiculous unless it was like a little tiny hut. So what I'm going to do is, again, turn my brush sideways. Turn my brush sideways. And let's see. I think the halfway point between here and the eave of the roof would be good. So I'm going to tuck it. I'm going to push it in a little bit. I'm going to use this one. So there's the top of my door. There's the side of my door. Go right down into the black. Don't be scared. Get right in there. And if I did this, this would be a little too thin, I'm thinking. So let me see. And the only thing you could do really is just eye this, you know, whatever looks comfortable for you. So maybe that looks better for me. I'm going to turn my brush sideways and come straight down, using it as a pencil. Yeah, that's okay. And I see it's a little leaned in, but I can fix that after, because I'm a professional. And now what you want to do is the top of the door always wants to be the top of the window, okay? So what you want to do, just make sure, because you don't want to have the window up here or the window down here, you know. But what you do want is, you know, we could have one. Let's put two windows. I'm going to put two windows here. So one's going to go here, right across, same as the door, same as the window. And I'm going to make two of them, so I want to make them small enough to fit in there comfortable. So I know that that's good there. And then what? About halfway the door would be good, or maybe just a little bit more than halfway down the door, like that. And that's almost too wide. Oh no, oh no. Something like this, then you have to, you know, but our grass is going to come up there. So that something like this is hideable. So I'm not even worried about that. Okay. So let's not even fill those in yet. Okay. And we'll have another window here. There we go. See, and that's good enough for me. We've got the small window up top, which is the attic window or the vent window, whatever that might be. And we're going to let it go for there. Now, like I said, if you went ahead and you, I'm sure maybe some of you didn't put, or maybe didn't have enough room to put the backyard, but I'm sure if you did, that's fine. So what you want to do now is see how I'm bringing these lines up, but this is what's going to make it pull into the foreground, is where we don't go all the way up, because if we go all the way up, all we're going to do is connect this to that, and it's not going to look good. So again, I got my brush sideways, take just a little bit of paint, and instead of coming down, we're going to go up like we did with our tree trunks, okay, because we want, again, that feather. But if you're not comfortable with that, right, I'll show you two ways you could do it. We could go up like this, and just make sure that they don't reach all the way up to the background trees, okay? Just be careful there, because then you'll kill all your grass in front. And just try to keep those in and around the same. Make some short, some tall. But if you're not comfortable with that, I just want to show you another way, if I can. Hey, come on. All right, here we go. Okay. So what you want to do then, if it's not comfortable that way, turn it upside down, and it's easier to flick it. Sometimes it's easier to flick it down, but remember, keep your brush sideways, not the fat part. You want the sideways. And then just like this. and then just flick it like that. It's a lot easier. Okay, and let some of them overlap and be crossed, and they're fine like that. Okay, but just be careful. You don't want to go all the way up, and try not to make these too fat. Okay, we can always fix that afterwards, but you just want to be careful because we're just looking for little wisps. Okay, little wisps coming up is what we're looking for. All right. Well, I'm doing a lot better today, not getting paint on me. I feel good about that. So let's see. Yeah, now look at that. Look at that already. The background. I mean, that itself is a picture, pretty much. So be proud of your work. And you know what we could do too while we got that little bit of black, right? Make sure you don't have a lot, just a little bit, and even wipe it over here just to make sure, okay? And then what you want to do is, if we come right down here along this line, and we just keep it very, very thin. I gotta secure that because it's jumping around. Jump around. Jump. Oh, lucky me! Wow, lucky me! Whew, that was a mistake. That could have been detrimental. I would have fixed it, but that could have been so bad. Wow, careful of your brush. Careful of your brush. All right, so what you want to do is we're going to take just that little bit of black and come right in here and right along that tree line. See what this does? This makes it solid. This, I'd pound on the ground to emphasize that, but this is what gives you that look like it's growing up out of the ground. That dark, rich look, okay? So just a little bit there, maybe a little bit in the trees, just to make it look like there's deeper parts of those, okay? But basically what you want to do is go right along that bottom floor where the ground meets the trees in that bush. And you can skip it around. Doesn't have to be one solid continuous line. But see, that's all we need right there. And look at that. Look at that. And these are just little tricks to make your painting pop. And people think you worked on this thing for years. Right? So, look right here. I'm going to fix it. Well, I don't think I want to fix that right now with the black, because if I turn that green black, that's all I'm going to see, and I certainly don't want to do that. All right, so while we get this small little brush, you know something? I think now you could take a look at it, and now that it looks like that I killed all the tree trunk, so watch this. I'm going to put a little bit in there, bring that, pop it right back out, pop it in there. Look at that. Now I'm bringing that whole tree trunk right back out, using my brush sideways, not the fat side, the side. Okay? And look at that. Just enough. You know, maybe have one that reaches out there to hold up all those leaves. Ooh, doggy. All right. Let's see. Now I guess, yeah, well, I'm going to be coloring my windows black. So I'm going to just do that right now. Choke up on it so you get a nice clean edge. All right, you want that to be like a nice looking window. So, nice clean edge. And it looks like it's getting close to that time again, huh? Yeah, about 10 more minutes. But take your time. I hope I went slow enough, guys. I hope I went slow enough today. Please let me know. I hope my explanation was good. I hope everything was well. And I certainly hope you help out with the house, because every little bit helps, mom or dad. The only thing is, don't ask to wash the dishes. It takes me forever. I don't know. I just never learned. My wife will get up there, she'll do it. It's all done. What do you mean it's all done? It's between Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, and you did all those dishes. Oh well, thank you. I do it. I'm there till 4 o'clock waiting for her to get home to make a mess. Oh well. But yeah, see, any little bit helps. Anything you can do. Not expecting you to vacuum, but you can make your bed, right? Remember. Make your bed, easy. All you gotta do is go in, pull the sheet, pull the blanket, pull the quilt. Then you go on the other side, you pull the sheet, pull the blanket, pull the quilt, fluff up the pillow. Looks like that. Remember, you're the only one in there for now. So, and remember also, pick up your toys. Very, very important. Pick up your toys. You don't want anybody tripping on that. Like I say, it's very, very dangerous. And of course, help you and they play with you and they don't want to help. You just say please. Okay? All right. So, I'll go and continue filling in my black window. Oh, almost used the wrong side. It snowed this morning. I saw it snowing. And spring is 48 hours away. Crazy. Oh, wow. Look at that. And look at the distance we're getting in there. I'm sure yours looks awesome. And please, you put the pictures back up because I would love to see them again. That was so exciting to, hey, I was like, honey, look, they're showing me all the pictures. They're coming in. I loved it. And if you're watching me from outside New Hampshire, let me know where you're from. I'm originally from Cambridge, East Cambridge, but I'm in New Hampshire now. How cool would we have somebody watching from like Guam or something? You know, that'd be cool. All right. I'm not rushing it. I'm just using my black. I'm trying to maintain a nice clean edge, and that's why you want to go nice and slow and choke up on your brush. And choke up on your brush, I mean like use it like a pen so that you have good control, because you can't have good control back here if you're painting back here. You can't make a nice clean edge on that. See, now watch what happens right here. I'm going to use just that little bit of black. Now watch what happens right here. So again, I never go in and scoop that whole thing. I only go in, take that little bit. Now I want to choke up on my brush nice and close to the edge, and with my shaky hand and my old eyes, I'm going to try to make a nice straight line. And I'm going to have to say good enough for me. There was a time I could do this like nothing. But c'est la vie. Okay, so that's not bad. You know, if you want to go on later on, you could put window boxes in there and stuff like that, have the flowers. But I figured because all the flowers are going to be popping up like that, I wasn't going to put one in for here either. They'd be kind of like what they call remoteness or something. So, not needed. Oh, you know something while we got this black? We never did our roof line. Now's a good time to do it. Got about 5 minutes left. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, now with this again, don't use a lot of paint just because you know what you're doing here. Don't use a lot of paint. Okay, I'm going to go on the side of my brush. If it needs to be thicker, you can do it another one next to that. Okay, you can always make it thicker. You can never make it thinner. Okay, so I'm going to go right up at the peak, and I'm going to turn my brush on that angle, and on that angle, I mean like, I'll show you like that, right? So my brush is not flat like this coming down. I want to turn my brush on that angle. I'm going to dig it right up there, nice and tight. And I'm just going to pull that straight down, and you don't want to chop at it because it's going to give you a crappy line. And even if it breaks like that, see what I mean by break? If it breaks like that, and you're not happy, you can always just go back, take a little more, and I'm going to do the other side, and it looks like the cat's looking for a treat. So, all right, I'm just going to do this quick, and let's see. All right, good enough for me. What do you want, something? Yeah. All right, I got it. I got the stuff. I got the stuff. I got it. Come here. Come up here. Come here. Come on. Come up here. Come on. Come up here. Come on. Come up here. Come on. I got it right here. I got the stuff. Oh, wait. I got you. There you go. Look at it. Got the cat eating right out of my palm of my hand. There you go. Yeah, okay. Here, take it on the floor. There you go. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And we'll call this today a great, great. I loved it. What a start. What a start. All the top is back. All the background is done. Tomorrow we'll talk about this corner here and how I want to bring in. I already know that I want to bring in another tree on this side because I just don't like the way this looks. I could get away with the clouds and I'm happy with that, but not right here. This open area is too much for me. But we're going to talk about that tomorrow. And I say thank you and good night. Oh, and any suggestions would help.